Hi, everybody. I am here with my friend Beth Manning, who we were just trying to figure out when we actually technically met this time around, and we're not super sure, but I know we met through our mutual friend Megan Dupree. Hi, Megan. I don't know
Hey,
if you're
Megan.
watching any of these, but I'll shout you out. um, and we have connected through our mutual love of using intuitive bodywork and exploring um, intuition and more of the psychic level of healing rather than just, the techniques, the hands-on techniques that we both know, which we have a lot in common, I think. So I'm really excited to have you here with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for the last minute notice also for joining me last minute.
Yeah,
So
there's not a whole lot going on these days. So,
this is true.
yep.
Yeah, today's my busiest day of this entire week. I'm working
Wow.
5 hours. I
Whoa.
know, whoa.
Good luck with that.
Right?
Yeah.
5 hours plus this interview. And normally I work about 6 hours, so it's like a pretty typical day for me. I won't call it
Nice.
normal because no day is normal anymore.
Right.
Right? I don't even know what that
Right.
means.
The
So
new normal.
the new normal. Anyway, so happy to see you. Can you share with people watching, what your journey has been like up to this point and how you got to here?
Sure. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I was actually um, in a desk job for a long time as a journalist. That was my first career.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So my undergrad degree has
Huh.
been journalism and writing.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I worked in magazine and did some online publications and worked for a college doing like all their admissions publications and online stuff. And then in 2008, I got laid off. Very,
Oh,
yeah, very suddenly.
interesting.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so lots of interesting parallels coming up, you know.
From that time. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So at that time, I was like newly engaged, and it was a really great job. It had so many benefits, and it seemed like the kind of thing that I'd just be at for life. I
Yeah.
could see myself growing there,
Yeah.
and so forced me to move, and it really just uprooted every
Huh.
aspect of my life. And
Wow.
that was when I decided to go to massage school.
Where were you living then?
I was in upstate New York.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like the perfect house, and it was just everything was so perfect. And then the next month I'm living in this tiny crimped condo in New Jersey.
What?
A place that I never ever dreamed of moving to.
Yeah. Huh.
um, but yeah, so that was a really challenging time. And I knew I didn't want another writing job. I I had like constant tension headaches and just didn't feel great. And I'd always been interested in, massage and working with people, not just writing something and being like, does anybody care about this? So actually working like one-on-one and helping people and making a difference. So that
Cool.
seemed like the journey to do that
Yeah. So
first
you went to
step.
massage school?
Yep.
Yeah.
I went to school.
Mm.
And I had taken no anatomy classes or physiology or anything.
Right.
It was all so new. And fortunately, my husband is a chiropractor, so
Yeah.
we'd have like weeknight study sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And but I loved it. It was the kind of thing where it was like the more that I learned, it was like, oh, I just can't get enough of this.
Yeah.
This is what I want to be doing. This is perfect. And so I was in school, and I was actually still having just a lot of pain. Like I cycled a lot. So I was always getting injured, and, I couldn't figure out, why some people could ride hard and I couldn't, I just wasn't recovering, and I had tension headaches. And so just a lot of anxiety and,
Mm.
just trying to figure out what was going on and how to manage it. And nothing traditional that I tried would ever make a big difference. I think I had tried pretty much everything. And then just about when I graduated from massage school, I was like, wait a minute, like I'm still in pain. And a lot of my clients were still like, you know, they'd feel better for a few days and then, but it was this endless cycle. And I was like, okay, there has to be a better way here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I found NKT. I
Mm-hmm.
took the first class of that and it just wasn't a good fit for me. And so I studied NMR and went kind of all the way with that. And I think looking back, there was actually kind of an energetic spiritual aspect to that class. It was unspoken, but it was there. And
Yeah, I think Jocelyn holds that. That's
oh yeah.
Jocelyn Oliver, for anyone. She's a teacher of NMR.
Yep.
I think that's what her specialty probably is.
Yeah. And I was drawn to that, but I don't think consciously I was drawn to that because I was still very focused on, okay, show me all the steps to heal a knee or a hip or a neck, you know, and
I'd like a recipe, please.
yes, exactly. Like, okay, here we go. We can do this.
Yeah.
And I was still like I would never have called myself spiritual or, you know, into energy or anything like that then. And, but it slowly began to shift as I studied more. And I took DNA and learned how to use the indicator. And that was when I started to really learn how to play with emotions more. And, but then the indicator, it was interesting because, you know, there, you know, it could be structural, emotional, physiological, but then one day it just started to like, it was none of those things. And I'm like, wait a minute, like what is going on here? Yeah. And I added spiritual to my toolbox because I just heard one day, ask if it's spiritual. And it was. And I'm like, what do I do with this? You know, I don't have the tools to do this.
Yeah.
And I had been studying with a mentor for a little while, just, you know, who was helping like with manifesting and meeting spirit guides and things like that. And I reached out to her and I was like, okay, we have to work together. Like, I have to see you like one-on-one. I have to figure this out.
Right.
And so we started working together and I spent a weekend with her and she really opened up a lot of my psychic abilities then. And she kind of just showed me how to use a lot of this energy stuff and how to connect with what was going on in a very high integrity way. And we kept working together. And so that's really kind of taken up to the point where I'm at now. And then I very recently just kind of scrapped my old business, which was very structural and athlete focused, and totally rebranded as me and started working with people online kind of even before the whole Corona thing.
Yeah.
And so so I'm kind of stepping into myself and my purpose. And
so exciting.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I see that we're kind of on a parallel path there with that. You know, given our main business is Denver Pain and Performance Solutions, which is very, like even the images on there are really attracting like an athlete or chronic pain type person, honestly. And yet where I'm going or where I want to be or where I am really, where I am is somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I've sat with a lot of the same kind of choices, like how do I want to rebrand? Is it important to rebrand? And I think what I kind of what I decided to do was to up level the consciousness of my main practice, my business bodywork practice, raise that up in consciousness to where the new business is coming in and connect them, marry them instead of discarding one and going into the other.
I like that.
Yeah. It's just slightly different energetically, but I think most of the work will come through the new business for now. Yeah. Very neat. I like hearing, and I love watching you evolve in that way and seeing you shine more of your true self out into the world. It's really fun. Not that the other way wasn't true. It was, right?
Right.
But this is just different now.
Yeah, it felt like I was holding back. And I really struggled with, should I call myself a psychic? Should I just be intuitive? Should I be something else? And it felt like, no, this is the true gift. This is what it is. Like, call it what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a big piece of my purpose is to shift people's view of what a psychic is. Because I'm not sitting and just like kind of pulling cards and telling the future and stuff like that. Like, I'm using the energy more for, the way it resonates with me. Not like that other stuff is totally valid. It's wonderful. But I think the way that I can best use it is to read the energy in people's bodies to help them uncover what's really going on, the root cause, the imbalances, and to help them heal at that deeper level, and using the energy work that way.
And I think people have a lot of fear of the word psychic, because people are afraid of their own power and abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have these gifts inside of us. We are all psychic.
Yep.
All of us. And I love that you're just stepping into it like you're just, well, this is what I am. This is who I am. I'm going to put this crown on and wear it. And you all will get used to it.
Yes.
You just get used to it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. I've also had that realization lately where, like, sometimes you just got to call it what it is. It's simple. The simpler, the better. Everyone understands what psychic means. People have a lot of feelings about it, but those are meant to be stirred up and healed.
Yeah. And I'd love to help people shift their view of that, and to even open up their own abilities if they'd like to, to know that it's safe and it's okay. And it just can really enhance your life in so many ways.
And it makes life fun.
Totally fun.
And rich and colorful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So have you gotten any pushback from, family members or friends about coming out in this way and showing yourself in this way?
Nothing big.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people kind of knew that I was this way for maybe before I did. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, oh, finally. My family, awesome. Like, some of them are pretty religious. So it was kind of, I think there was some concern about, like, oh, if you start putting this on Facebook, what are people going to think?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, they can talk to me,
Yeah. If they want to.
You just have to do it. Yeah, because it's very difficult for me to hide who I am. Like, I feel like I'm just like right out there. Like, you can always read my face, what I'm thinking. And I was like, I just can't walk around with this thing in the back of my mind and not share it.
Yeah. Which is probably what drew you to journalism, huh?
Yeah, I've always been very interested in stories and what makes people tick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm. And I love that. I mean, it's one of my favorite things is the intake process with people, of just,
oh yeah,
like, you're really connecting and just hearing them talk about their life and their story and how they perceive things. And that it's so interesting to bring the energetic into that, because it's like people speak and they're saying one thing, but then their energy can be saying something completely different. So it's kind of, the subtlety between both, and helping to steer past the story to the truth, and then helping them to kind of start to see that as well.
Yeah. What I love about how you and I work is we're not afraid to ask the interesting questions. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You have to. Like, the first time I see somebody, I always ask the question, what do you think happens when we die? And people are like, whoa, good question. Like, this is normal conversation for me.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think happens when we die? And what do you think, or are you connected to some kind of higher power or the universe, or is there something out there that resonates with you? I mean, I love having those kinds of conversations with people, and people are so excited to be asked that kind of stuff, because at a soul level, everybody wants to connect in that way. right?
Yes.
Tired of
Yeah.
talking about their knee pain, right? I'm tired of
Yep.
it.
Yep. And they're probably tired of talking about their knee pain.
That's what I mean. Like they're tired of going to practitioner after practitioner after practitioner to say the same thing. My neck hurts, my knee hurts. Why can't anyone help me? Blah, blah, it just gets old.
Right. Right.
So it's
Yeah.
really
So
great to have someone like you who has the gift to be able to see what's either on top of that or underneath that, or yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
And that's the interesting thing too. It's like people come in with symptoms, but there's there's so much more to the puzzle. And it's like, what can we, how can we see this in a new way? And I think people are interested in that too, because I think they want to talk about that stuff that they've been suppressing all these years. And, they want to, they just need to have that safe environment to do that. And I think
Totally.
that's why we're never not treating emotions when we're treating a client. It's like we can't separate structure from emotional.
No.
It's like, it's like one and the same.
Yeah.
I think the more people get comfortable with just treating the emotional stuff and seeing that that's there and that it's not some big thing, that we can support the person and just have a human conversation.
How do you work to create a safe environment? What are the things that you know about that? What makes a safe environment?
I think it's really about holding space for the
Mm-hmm.
person, tuning into what they need to have that safety, so I always follow the energy of where we should go when I'm treating.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates that safe space as well. So it's sort of like I can tell, like, oh, okay, I need to tiptoe into this or provide a little extra support. And I always give people ways that they can go deeper when they're ready on their own,
Yeah.
journaling, some meditations, things like that. So I'm always thinking about, is this an appropriate place to go? Is this going to be perceived as safe, and that we're providing that like security, but also triggering them enough to kind of get to the thing. So it is a balance. It's a balance, but
Yes, it totally
yep.
is. You don't want to get people beyond where they have the capacity to go. I've had that
Right.
happen a few times. Have you had that happen where someone took you too far?
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like a shock. It actually creates trauma, I think,
it
or it did
does.
for me anyway.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or like when people would release things and it was like, whoa, that does not want to be released,
Yeah, you got to work a little bit more intricately sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Listening to the body, right?
Oh, definitely. It's all about listening and reading the energy that's
Mm.
going on.
Yeah. I think, my concept of safe space has really changed over the years. In the beginning it was, well, I need my office to be welcoming and feel good and look pretty, right? So I think I'll put a lot of blue in there, and that's very soothing and comforting. And then it was, well, I need to make sure that people feel free to speak or not speak, depending on how comfortable they are, and that my touch is safe. And then what it really comes down to for me is my energy field, and having my energy field be as clear as possible, so that whatever they're experiencing, they're not also experiencing my stuff at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That happens a lot, but you can create a container where your stuff is set aside for the moment, and the focus is entirely on the client.
Yes. Yeah. And being very aware of kind of when that energy crosses, or when you're stepping over or they're stepping over,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
where that bleeds into the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was kind of the nice thing about energy work too, is learning to set up grids and to have, the healing support of the universe and the energy supporting that person also. So it wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
me supporting them.
Yeah. Tell me more about that. Setting up a grid. I don't know what that means. Or I've never
Yes.
done that consciously. Anyway.
Yeah. So grids are really powerful. So if I'm working with you right now, if we were about to do a healing, I would
Mm-hmm.
call in universal energy, the highest of love, greatest of good, so highest of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see, the guides or energy surrounding you.
Mm-hmm.
And this just helps to elevate whatever we want to bring into the session, like more
How many we
healing.
got here?
That's right.
How
You
many we
have
got
quite a
here?
few. You have an entourage. Yeah,
My peeps.
you do. um, and then I would put a grid around myself for protection. So I would put a protection grid around myself and see.
What does it look like to you? Is it a square?
So
Is
they
it
can
a
be
shape?
different patterns. Yeah, they
Mm.
can be really intricate, or they can be a basic circle or a rectangle. It's
Mm.
really different for everybody.
Mm. I do this actually. I'm thinking now. I either have a pillar of light or I have a ring of stars.
There you
That for
go.
me is just, I love the ring of stars.
Nice. Yeah,
Cool.
you're
Okay.
doing it.
Interesting. Okay.
And that really helps as an energy worker to not, so then I'm not using my energy when I'm healing you, when we're working together.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I'm protecting my energy and we're using universal energy to work together for your
Yeah.
healing.
Have you ever learned about using what's the term? A separator object in your aura?
No, what is that?
So, in order to communicate a boundary without having to communicate a boundary, you can place an object or a symbol in around your aura, the outside of where your aura is. Wow, mine's very big right now. That just kind of marks. It's like a fence, but not really a fence. Mine has just one little cross that kind of marks where I am, so that people know where I am energetically, and that I'm within that container. And it helps people to just stay in their own lane, kind of thing.
Hmm. So do you always see the same symbol when you use it?
Yeah. For whatever reason, it's a cross, a little golden cross.
Hmm.
Sometimes silver. Yeah. I was just curious if you ever heard of that.
I haven't.
I think it's a psychic technique taught at various schools where, when you're learning to use your clairvoyant skills, you want to make sure that your energy is separated from the person you're reading. And so you do that with, at the beginning, they tell you just put whatever your symbol is, just put your whole, like the aura, all over the aura. Like if you imagine your aura is like a bubble or an egg, you just like place just crosses everywhere. But after a while, once you learn to trust it and feel comfortable, you just need the one that kind of marks you. Here I am.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I was curious if you'd ever learned that. What other fun stuff have you learned?
Oh my goodness.
So many.
I know. I think one of the most fun things that I learned how to do is to take people on shamanic journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a journey to heal the inner child or a shadow aspect, soul retrievals, past life. But it's just so interesting because you never know what's going to happen,
Oh, totally.
or
Yeah.
where you're going to go, and it's just so eye-opening for the client too, because they can actually see what they need to see, or that they're not seeing, and make a shift and a change, and we can heal the energy at the inception point that the trauma happened, which then feeds forward into the present day.
Mm-hmm. Do you work with timelines too?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Bringing the energy through the timeline to present
Mm-hmm.
time. Yeah. There's this book, I can't remember what it's called now, but this guy, Sal Rachel, who's a psychic and an author of a bunch of books. He has a whole book on timeline healing. It's fascinating. It's very intellectual, a lot of it. It's like talking about time and how time works. And a lot of it's like, yeah, I don't need to know all that. Just, I really like to be practical. I'm just a
Mm-hmm.
very practical person. I'm learning. I just want things to be practical, and I'm intuitive in that way, but I don't need to know all of the theories of time and the math and all of that. That does not make me excited inside me.
I hear ya.
But anyway,
Yep.
he's got a really cool book, Sal Rachel.
All right, I'll
If
check that
anyone's
out.
interested in that, salrachel.com. And he's like an old school guy, so like his website's really weird. It's not like it's not it's not very user friendly to be honest.
Maybe someone has written a summary somewhere that we can find.
Right. But he's got a lot of ebooks, and he does have one print book, I think, or Kindle book through Amazon that I got that was really good too. He's really also into aliens. Are you into aliens?
I am not super into aliens. I tend to be more on the earth plane with the energy that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't tend to channel that stuff as much. And I think right now we kind of have to be careful because there's a lot of like very low vibe, like ETs, coming down and telling people things.
Yeah.
So it's always good to know what we're channeling.
I don't. In fact, I so don't like the alien stuff that I hate space movies. I just have no interest in them.
That's so interesting. I always used to have this fear, like at night when I'd be outside, that I'd just be like sucked into space. And it was almost like a nightmare. I was just like, I want to stay here. And maybe that's why, because I'm very earth, grounded to the earth.
I could go into a lot of theories about that. That's very interesting.
What energy do you tend to channel? Do you?
I don't always know, honestly. I know that it's of the light because I make that declaration at the beginning. A lot of times it's angelic energy or divine feminine energy.
That's what I see, a lot of angelic energy with you. The celestial.
And I've learned to access and channel divine masculine energy as needed, which until you begin to embody that, it's not hard, not easy. When I first began, I would mostly channel dead people. So
it's always a good starting point.
Yeah, I mean, it was just dead people. And I still occasionally will have conversations with people who have passed who need something. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's different now, thankfully. It's not.
Yeah,
just
I'm not as into the mediumship thing.
No.
It just never really called to me. And I think that's where I'm still a little bit closed because my dad passed away when I was really young, and I remember just being terrified that I was going to see his ghost.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, I never wanted anything to do with spirits or haunted houses or graveyards or anything like that. But I definitely have had people come in, and I've talked to my dad, and
Yeah, you still have a little bit of a fragment though on your crown chakra of protection. It's like a little. It looks like a record, like a little black disc
spinning around.
Yeah, just you could take it off when you're ready, right?
I've heard that. Yeah, I don't know when I'm ready. We'll see.
You'll know.
Yeah, there's still fear there. Definitely.
Like, what will happen if you are channeling all that? What's the fear? I used to be afraid I would be overwhelmed with energy and I would lose I would literally fragment, like my mind would fragment.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think it's just that I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and there'll be dead people there. And, it'll be like, the door opens and it's like, no. Like, let's,
right.
This is not like the one-stop place for everybody now.
I just watched a movie about that last night or 2 nights ago. It's an old movie and I forget the name of the guy in it, but he was a dentist who had a procedure in the hospital and he like died during the procedure and he woke up and could see all these ghosts. And then there's this one night where he's laying there and this naked guy just shows up by his bed and is like, "Excuse me, is this a bad time?"
Whoa, that would be my worst nightmare. I like wouldn't sleep anymore. I'd just stay awake.
Right. Well, if anyone's out there is afraid of this, honestly, you can simply ask for those beings to stay away while you're
Yeah,
sleeping.
that's true.
I have had to do that actually in the beginning when I was really sensitive and opening. Put myself in a pillar of light or enclose the room in a bubble of golden light so that I wouldn't experience other people's thoughts or feelings or physical sensations or any interference during the night.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to do that too because I would wake up channeling stuff in the middle of the night. I'm like, no, 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 this is not the time. I don't want to talk. I want to sleep.
Yeah. Now I do that all the time.
Do you?
All the time. I mean, I'm never tired though. It's different. It's weird.
Yep.
I can be like last night I was up many, many times in the night with downloads and information coming in and all kinds of stuff. And I woke up fine. Like, oh, all right, well, that was kind of a restless night, but I'm sure some things came in that I'll need at
Yeah.
some
Do you
point.
remember them? Do you write them down or?
Sometimes I remember them. But not last night. I don't know why. I don't know what that all was. No idea. No clue. I'm just writing down notes here. Channeling ghosts. And how that's like the worst thing ever.
Oh, yeah. No, sometimes departed loved ones will come into sessions and it
Mm,
feels like a very loving time to connect,
yeah.
So
It's
I guess,
purposeful, right?
yeah. And it's not about me. It's about the person, the client connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, when there's a reason for it and it's the right moment versus just hearing all of the nonsense all the time.
Right.
Are you someone who attracts ghosts or dead earthbounds, I call them?
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't opened up to that yet.
Yeah.
That's my little record.
That's your record. I think I used to attract them more than I do now. Now I've kind of moved on from the lessons that I was learning with being able to connect with those beings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So now you see them less.
Yeah, less unless it's like, oh, there's one in my office and it was attached to someone and now it doesn't know what to do. So help it move on, help this one move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Boy, we've gone a lot of different places today. It was fun. Well, we only have a couple more minutes left before I have to start my first person of the day. And I know you have a beautiful tool to share with people. What do you want to explain what we're going to do?
Yeah. So I feel like I've been talking to a lot of people who are just having trouble staying grounded right now, taking on a lot of other people's fear or, the collective feelings of the world right now. And kind of getting sucked into that lower vibrational place and having trouble kind of getting up out of that. And I think a lot of that is just starting to learn how to tap back into ourselves and call our true energy back. Because it's sort of like we're wearing everybody else's heavy jackets right now. So if we can take those off, come back to ourselves. And so I just want to take you through what I've been doing, like, I don't know, 10 plus times a day, even,
Okay.
especially if I have to go to the grocery store.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to keep it super simple. And what you're going to do is first, we're going to ground our energy. So pushing our energy down from the crown all the way down to the bottom of our feet, pushing, and seeing roots growing out the bottom of our feet, anchoring into the earth. And we're going to push all of that down and ask for anyone else's energy that's attached or that we're taking on to be pushed down, and let Mother Earth take it.
What does she do with it?
What does she do with it? She just transmutes it back into good energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to do next. Sophie, that was a great segue. So now we're going to pull up earth energy back through our bodies. And if we need it in one place a little more than another, can go there. And just feeling that warm, loving, protective energy coming up our body, filling every space, settling the breath. And then we're going to call our energy back to us. So you'll use your first name and say, "Come back to me," in your head 3 times. And just feeling your energy returning to you. And coming back into your midline. And so that's a reset that I like to use and to teach clients to distinguish their energy from, what they're taking on from other people, and to feel their true energy again and how that feels in their body.
Yeah, that's cool. I had a song come in. I don't even know what the song is, but one lyric is, "Baby, come back."
Oh, yeah.
You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, what is that though? I don't know. We'll think of it in like a couple hours.
Yeah, it's like an 80s. I think it's like an 80s song or a 70s song. It's very old.
Yeah.
But of course, I was singing, "Jamie, come back."
Oh, I like that. It works well with your name.
It does. Not so much with your name.
No, Beth,
sadly.
Come back. No.
Oh my God.
So everyone can make up their own song.
Yeah.
According to their name.
Right.
Find your 80s song that corresponds.
Find your 80s energy callback song.
Oh my gosh.
I snorted. Okay.
You did. That's great.
Did. Every now and then.
Yep.
So if people want to have a psychic healing session with you, how can they reach you? What's the best way? Or what are some ways?
So my website is bethmanningintuitive.com. And that's the same way on Facebook and Instagram, Beth Manning Intuitive.
Okay.
That's how you can find me.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm also doing a workshop to help people uncover and release and process emotions, showing them the process that I use with clients.
Oh, dope. When's that?
So that's going to start this Saturday, the 18th. So it'll be 3 separate days. So I'll be putting a lot of information on all the socials about that and how people can sign up and
how long are those?
Do the work.
Excuse me. How long are those classes? Couple hours? 3 hours?
They're a couple hours each, and it'll be recorded too. So if you can't make the live, and then a lot of materials too to help people at home. And
this is perfect. We're doing this interview.
I know.
Like how great the timing, so you can have it as part of your.
Thank you. Yeah, you're reading my mind, Jamie.
That's so funny. Well, we have to thank Robert Rex, who I will interview Robert tomorrow. Do you know Robert Rex?
Just from, I think, Facebook.
Yeah, I'm going to interview him tomorrow. He was supposed to be this morning, but he had to cancel until tomorrow. So here we are. Very fun.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So it's 3 Saturdays in a row? Is that how it works?
It's April 18th, which is a Saturday, the 22nd, which is a Wednesday, and then the 25th, which is a Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All from what time to what time? So
the Saturdays are at noon, and the 22nd is at 6
p.m. Mm-hmm. Okay, just so I can write that all down in my post for you. Awesome. Very exciting. Do you have a title for this workshop?
The Mind Body Breakthrough Workshop.
Mind Body Breakthrough.
Yeah.
Oh,
giving people the process.
Born.
to process their emotions and to get to the bottom of their pain and what's really underneath everything. So it's taking people
Very
through the
cool.
process I use with clients.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited to share
Congratulations
it.
on the birth of your new child.
Thank you. So many births happening. Yes.
So
So much newness.
many. I know. It's so cool to see everybody creating.
Yeah. Well, I was creating this to do an in-person workshop, and then that got canceled. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll take it to the Zoom.
Take it to the Zoom and everyone will have a beautiful experience. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things people are learning now is that we think we have to be in person to learn things. We really don't.
No.
There's a lot of things we can learn online in as long as
Exactly.
the right space is being held. So very exciting. Okay.
Thank you.
How much do your class, what is this class costing? So I can put that down too.
So it is $189.
Okay. What's the meaning of that?
I don't know, it just felt right.
Makes me want to research that. So 8 plus 9 is 17, plus 1 is 18, 9. So that reduces to 9, which is the number of spiritual completion.
Hey, there you
Very
go.
fun. Awesome. Okay.
Come get spiritually completed.
Well, thank you so much for having the time for me today. That was really fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'll see you on Facebook.
Sounds good, Jamie.